Today on Singles Court, Laura's pet parrot is ruffling some feathers.
Did the bird poop on the furniture?
No! Yes!
But Camille's got a plan that will put the pest to rest.
Rat poison? Rat and rodent poison?
Do you
What
want
were
to
you doing
see
with
this?
It's either the bird goes or she goes.
And Richard gave Denise a friendly filling.
We hit it off, and she's trying to make her way in the modeling business.
Now she's taking a bite out of their friendship, and he's getting a cold reception.
And I kept giving him more and more excuses, trying to persuade him not to ask me, giving him a hint.
Let me ask you this, Doctor. Did you understand she didn't want to go? No.
Well, I know.
Well, hello there, and welcome to Singles Court, coming to you live and direct from the Singles Broadcast Network. I'm Michael Day, the show's producer extraordinaire, and here's the lady who's always direct, relationship mediator, Angela Siegel.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, how are you today?
Fine. How about that singles party last night?
Woo, it was hot, hot, hot.
They always start out boys on one side, girls on the other.
I know, I like that.
I know you do, but fortunately we were able to mix it up a little.
Well, we have two girls on one side in our studio here today. Meet Camille, who is a work-at-home saleswoman, and Laura, who's a social worker. The two have been friends since grade school and recently become roommates. However, Camille takes exception to Laura's parrot. I'll let them tell you more about this, but I call this the case of giving her the bird, or beak house.
Well, Camille, the bird seems to be causing you a lot of problems. Tell me what's going on.
A lot of problems. We've been friends since grade school.
Probably when you were that 11-ish.
11-ish, yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've done everything
say.
together. We went to colleges in separate states. Basically, we continued to get along.
Not so much anymore, though.
We decided to live in the same city, and rent's high, so we decided to live together. But what she said about her bird wasn't what the bird is doing now.
What does that mean?
Basically, I agreed for the bird to live with us, but that's because she said the bird cooed, and it was
And
a
it
nice
does.
bird. No, no, Camille. It doesn't coo. No, it's not a nice bird. This bird scratches, it screeches. I've had to replace the furniture like twice.
Let me ask a question to you, Laura, about the bird. Okay, you've had the bird for...
Year and a half.
Okay, and in the time that you've had the bird, what has been your experience with the bird, and how much did you tell her about the bird?
When I first moved in, I told her right away that I had a bird. I said that it cooed, and I said it always
But
says...
it doesn't coo.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't
Okay,
coo.
what do you call this? Ooh, ooh.
No.
That's a coo?
No, what about, here's a good boy, here's a good boy, over and
the bird
over again. It's irritating. It
He says that
yammers.
because he wants his attention sometimes.
Okay, but tell me, okay, so your experience with the bird, where did you all live before you moved with her?
I lived with my mom before.
So you and the bird lived with your mother?
Oh, yeah.
And did your mother ever have any issue with
That's why she
No
moved to the
problems
bird.
at-
That's why she moved out.
Excuse me?
But I'm asking, if I ask a question to one person, that's who should answer.
Sorry, Angela.
Okay, so did your mother have issue with the bird?
No problem with
Never.
the bird. When I first got the bird, he was even more perturbed, I would say, than he behaves now. He's come a long way in a year and a half. I've been like his
What is
mother.
he in, like rehab? I mean, what's the deal?
I
He's come a
rescued
long
him.
way.
I found him in an animal shelter. They'd rescued him from a home. There was over 70 birds in this one house, and they never used to pay
It
any of
pulls
them
out its
attention.
feathers. It
That's why he always
defecates
used
on
to
the
say,
furniture.
"He's a good boy. He's a good boy." To get attention.
I've had to
But
replace
does
the
the bird-
furniture twice. I can't. I work
is that
at
true?
home.
The bird scratched.
But no, I asked a question. Is that true that she's had to replace the furniture
I
because
have
of the bird?
receipts.
No, she didn't have to replace it. She did,
But
but
did
she
the-
didn't have to.
did-
I covered it over with varnish.
Did the bird poop on the furniture?
No.
Yes.
That's something that's not like, that's really like either you're telling truth or you're lying about. Poop is poop.
It does it
Did
in
the
its
bird
cage.
poop on
It
the
does
furniture?
it in its cage. It's never done it
I have
outside
a-
of its cage.
I have an affidavit here from actually a neighbor. From
Well, you're
1020.
serious about this, aren't you? Okay. What's your neighbor have
From
to say?
1020. I, Kevin Wilkshire, have heard constant noise since the two girls and the bird
He only signed that because he wants to go out with her.
have.
End of story.
Do you want to see this piece of
It
paper?
has to be.
It doesn't matter. Basically, what you're saying is you can prove that the bird is noisy. So she can prove the bird is noisy, but you haven't proven that the bird is not, and you haven't proven that the bird.
I'm not saying the bird doesn't make any noise.
I work at home.
It's
She
not
works out
making
of
the
the
kind of
house.
noise that she's talking about.
She's a
and all you have to do.
Listen. Okay. Listen. What kind of bird is the bird making? What kind of noise is the bird making? Let's at least try to come to an agreement on that.
The bird
like
does
this.
two
It's
things.
like this.
No, see, if I look at her, I'm asking her. I know what you think. It's obvious. It talks. It's loud. You've already told me that. Let's not replay that. Those are for entertainment purposes only. We're trying to come to a resolution. Thanks. No, not thanks. Now, you tell me, what do you say the bird? Because you said it cooed. Cooing is not a full sentence.
The bird makes two noises. It coos. Coo, coo.
What's the other noise?
It says, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. And he's only doing that to get attention.
So
he
it
doesn't do
doesn't
it very
lie.
loud. And you can shut your bedroom door.
No, I can't shut my bedroom door
Why
because
can't-
that's my office. It has to stay open.
Ladies, I think
It's
it's
a
the two of
cat
you
fight
who's
about a
making
bird.
all the noise.
Okay, Angela, can I say something for a
Yes,
minute?
you may. But hopefully you'll tell the truth because
Yeah,
you tell
she
like
keeps
half
lying.
truths.
That's why.
Okay.
They're half truths.
Yeah.
Cooing is not, when a baby coos.
Okay, try living
a
with
baby
this.
2
at 6
weeks
months
ago.
doesn't come out with a sentence.
2 weeks ago, I went into Camille's room. She said I could borrow her lipstick anytime I wanted because I had a job interview. I went into her drawer. What do you
Why?
think I found? You said I could borrow your lipstick anytime. Don't go there.
Whatever.
Okay, but you're in a
I went
drawer.
into her drawer.
And?
Angela, I was shocked.
What's
Rat
that?
poison? Rat and rodent poison?
Do you
What
want
were
to
you doing
see
with this?
this
Yeah,
stuff?
let-
Can I
Yeah,
ask?
let me
What
see
was she doing with this?
Laura, if I wanted to get rid of your bird, I'd simply open a window.
Really? Then why was it in seed form? Tell me that.
What
What were you
was-
planning to do with it?
It's
Planet?
rats. It's rodents. It's to get rid of them.
Angela, we don't have any rats. And we don't have mice either. So I want to know what you were doing with
You
that.
you have to admit that
Laura,
it's
it's either you go or the bird goes.
Listen to me. You have to admit this does not look good in your favor, okay? So it's like finding a gun in someone's drawer and saying, but I didn't mean to use it. So tell me why you would have rodent poison.
Yeah, let's hear it. I want to hear its story
Guns
for this
and
one.
poison.
The
has
best way to
nothing
hear
to-
it is to be quiet. That's a good idea. Why?
Why?
Yes.
Well, it's either the bird goes or she goes.
Okay. Was this your idea of getting rid of the bird?
No, I
It's
just
not
had it because
because what? I mean, it's not to sweeten your coffee. What?
You weren't planning on poisoning her, were you?
no.
Michael.
Oh no.
Well, it's-
Oh no.
I think she was
no,
planning
I
on
wouldn't do that.
poisoning Polly.
And let her answer the question. Look
Look,
at me.
Laura.
Look at me. Why?
Okay. Only if she gave me no other option. I've asked her a ton of times to get rid of this bird. It's annoying me. It
are
stresses
you?
me. I live at home. I work at home. I'm there 24/7.
Animal killer.
She isn't there. She's a social worker. She gets out
Let's
of the
think about
house.
this.
So you're jealous of me because I leave the house. That's it? That's why you're going to kill my bird?
Well, look, okay, the
Let's
bird.
think about this. Okay, let's think about this because if the bird's head was here and I did this, that'd be excessive. If you give this to a bird, that's excessive.
It's a bird.
Yeah.
It's a bird.
It has
It's
feelings
an
too,
animal.
okay?
No, it doesn't.
Don't you think that's excessive?
You should have left it in the pound.
I'm asking you a question. Hello. Don't you think killing
No,
the bird?
it's not.
I can't
It's
believe
not.
you would do
It's my
something like that.
sanity. When animals, okay, interrupt my personal space,
You kill them. You know what? Look at your roommate. Look at this.
You're nothing like I thought
Listen.
you were.
Do you remember the Evans cat? Do you remember the Evans cat?
Yeah.
Well, it was peeing on my mom's roses, and
So
I had
what?
to get rid of it.
You have to get rid
I
of
ran
it?
over it.
What?
Look, get rid of the bird.
Okay.
Psycho.
Do you remember the Brown's dog?
Michael,
She's a murderer.
Okay,
Remember the
ladies,
Brown's
ladies,
dog?
was my
ladies.
red
You killed that
I
too?
put it in.
Police! She's a serial killer.
I put it in, and I fed it.
You know, when two people live together, many things come to light. Laura, first of all, that bird, you love the bird. That's obvious. But you have to understand that other people may not love the bird. And when you describe the fact that you have a bird, you need to be honest and understand that your love is specific to that bird. Other people may not feel the same way. And obviously in this situation, it was an annoyance. I don't believe that you were totally truthful in terms of how that bird really acted. Camille, you, on the other hand, need professional help. Really, you do. You need a better way to learn how to handle your anger. I think I will keep these and flush them down the toilet. You need to understand that elimination is excessive if the source of your anger is an animal. Death was your answer, and that is scary. And the fact that you've done it before really scares me. So professional help is definitely in order. Relationships are about the total respect of each person's space and keeping within the boundaries. And I think both of you did a pretty crappy job of establishing those boundaries. What you have to look at further as we look forward is whether or not this is a good situation, the two of you living together. And my guess right now would be probably not. Camille, you need to understand, unless you're going to open a pet cemetery, you better get help immediately. Because I would tell you, if you continue the behavior that you have right now, you'll be the animal in the cage, better known as jail. And that's that in black and white.
Next on Singles Court, Richard gave Denise a friendly filling.
We hit it off, and she's trying to make her way in the modeling business.
Now she's taking a bite out of their friendship, and he's getting a cold
I
reception.
kept giving him more and more excuses, trying to persuade him not to ask me, giving him a hint.
Did you understand? She didn't want to go. No.
Well,
Hi, Singles Court is back, and the last time I checked, we're still on the Singles Broadcast Network. But one thing that never changes, it's the lady sitting right there, Angela Siegel.
Hi, Michael.
Hi. Okay, next on the hopper. In the studio we have Richard, who is a dentist, and Denise, who is a model. Now, recently Denise went to see Richard about a little dental work, and when it was all said and done, he wouldn't let her pay. Well, Richard feels that Denise has the skills not to pay the bills, but Denise takes exception to this. I call this the case of Denise and the dentist.
Well, Denise, it sounds as though you've got your teeth all in a chomp. What's going on?
Well, I came to the city about a year ago to pursue my modeling career. About 4 months ago, I developed a severe toothache, and a friend of mine, another model, referred me to Dr. Richard Flax. I called him, and then the very next day, I went to the appointment. He was nice, and he filled my cavity, but then on my way out, he decided not to charge me. I thought this was kind of...
she came in, and I took her the next day. She was a nice young lady, and filled her...
What happened to same-day service? You know,
Same-day service?
Yes,
Well,
she's had
that's
a
a little
toothache.
above and beyond.
Okay.
But the very next day I took her, and we did the filling, and it went very well, and we hit it off. She seemed nice. She was a young model starting out in the city. I have a good practice, and I decided to do a favor.
Okay, so do you make it a common practice not to charge your patients? Because otherwise
No,
you'd be
not
broke.
a common practice, just once in a while.
How do you decide? If I were homeless, smelly, and unable to pay my bill, is that okay?
No. We hit it off. She's trying to make her way in the modeling business, and I thought it would be a leg up for her to
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
It was a little bit of a nice thing to do, but I did feel kind of guilty,
I don't
Angela,
blame you.
about it. Anyways, we made an appointment one week later.
What'd you do? You felt guilty, you leave, he doesn't want to charge you, so what'd you do at that time?
At that point, he had suggested that I come back in a week to have my teeth cleaned, which I thought was a good idea, and I'm in the modeling industry, it would help.
Exactly.
Newsflash, other people get their teeth cleaned too.
Yes, well, I did decide that if I came back, I would definitely be paying for my services. So we made the appointment. I came back 1 week later. He cleaned my teeth. And on the way out, I started to write a check out for the receptionist, and he stopped me. He decided that he was going to give me free services again. But I felt so guilty about the first time that I continued to write the check, and I left it with a receptionist.
Good for you.
It was a scaling and a profit. There's nothing to that. And, you know, I mean,
And I felt that I should
told her,
pay.
I offered it to her, and then she came
So-
in, and I provided it for her.
Let me make sure I understand you correctly, doctor. There's nothing to it because it was, what did you call it, a scaling?
Scaling and a profit. Cleaning.
Okay, clean. And what's the heck? So I can come to your office and get that done anytime free.
If I invite you, yes. And I had invited her.
So it's by invitation
Oh,
only.
Exactly.
invite me,
I thought,
invite me.
that I thought it was an appointment, actually, a legitimate
it.
appointment,
I don't
and that's
blame
how I
you.
took it.
I agree.
I went home, and a week later, the dentist called me. I thought perhaps it was due to my check because it hadn't been cashed at this point, and so I thought maybe he was calling, maybe it bounced or something, I don't know. But he wasn't calling about the check. He asked me out on a dinner date, and quite frankly, I was very surprised about it.
You
But
were?
I was surprised, but
I'm not.
I had no reason to say no at this point because he just said dinner, and I decided to go. He said that we would meet up in his office and go from there.
Exactly. It was just a casual dinner. There was no strings attached. I mean, we hit it off. She's from a small town. I'm from a small town.
We decided to meet up at his office, and we went from there. His receptionist actually was laughing to herself on the way out and told us to have a good time. I don't know what that was supposed to mean, but we did go out for dinner. It was a nice restaurant. We had a good dinner, and at the end of it, there was no sparks between us. I knew this, so I decided to offer to pay for my part of the dinner.
And
good move.
I refused. I took her out on a date. When I take somebody out on a date, I pay. You
I
know?
didn't want any obligation between us at all, so I decided I would at least offer.
Chivalry apparently is dead.
No, chivalry's not dead. I mean, I agree with you. I think that if you invited her, you should pay.
Yes.
But you did attempt to pay for her own, which is,
Yes.
you understand, she's saying there's no sparks.
That's fine, but I should still be allowed to pay for the meal.
Hey, no
I'm
problem.
not asking her, to be obligated for
you-
sex or even a kiss.
I am feeling you. I agree with you.
Thank you.
Well, a few days later, he called me again. If there's no sparks, I didn't think he'd be calling to ask me out on another date, but
Bingo.
apparently he had it in mind to do so. He asked me out to dinner again, and at this point I thought I should just give an excuse as to why I couldn't go. I told him that I had a modeling job and I couldn't make it. He kept giving me more and more dates, and I kept giving him more and more excuses, trying to persuade him not to ask me, giving him a hint.
Okay, let me ask you this, doctor. Did you understand she didn't want to go? No.
Well, I know that she thought that I was trying to see her more romantically than I thought I was trying to see her.
Well, what did you think?
I just thought it would be nice to take her out on a date, to take her out for a meal.
He was very persistent, persistent, not just
Sounds
polite,
like
but
it was.
extremely
So why
persistent.
were you so persistent?
Well, because I felt that she
just
thought
a
I was after
friend.
sex. Exactly. And I thought
But
that
then-
if I proved to her that I was just out for friendship, that she would let her guard down and we'd go from there.
But she doesn't want to go. So I don't understand why you're so persistent. If it's just a friendship, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's a big city. There's lots of women that you can have.
Well, exactly.
Exactly is right. So explain it to me, because I don't understand.
I
You
felt
break it
that
down
she
like I'm
thought that
3
I was
years old.
after her sexually, and I knew that I wasn't after her sexually, and I just wanted to prove to her that, and I thought, why not go out
Why not
and
force
have a
her to
nice
have dinner
meal?
with me?
His
That'll prove it.
persistence did pay off that way. I did go out for dinner with him, unfortunately,
But
for a second
what did that
time.
prove to you, though? Did that prove that he wasn't interested in you romantically?
He
'Cause-
didn't make any moves on me, honestly, in the second date. We met up at his office again, and we
Not
went from
him.
there. And
Did that
was,
prove to you that he wasn't interested in you romantically? That was my question. After you left
I
that
wasn't
dinner.
quite sure what his intentions were, to be quite honest with you. I had no idea. We went out for dinner. We met up at his office once again and went to a nearby restaurant once again. Same thing as the first date. It was a nice conversation, a nice dinner, no sparks, and I thought it was over. He did, however, keep calling me, and I just didn't answer the telephone anymore.
So
I
now
was
you have her
screening my
running
calls.
from her phone. Caller ID is not even comforting. Help me understand, what's the motivation? That's what I'm missing here.
I just thought, it's better than sitting at home watching TV,
There's a lot of stuff between sitting at home watching TV and chasing somebody that
I
you say
like
you're
to
not
be
interested in.
seen in public with an attractive woman on my arm, and
Now,
I
there's
guess
the
I'm
truth.
vain,
Yes, there's the truth. You like having an attractive woman on your arm. But you know what? Even in the yellow pages in every city across the country, look under E.
I don't go to hookers.
Escort service.
No.
I didn't say a hooker. That's a pretty woman on your arm, so that's not even a good
Wow.
reason.
Well,
How do you feel about what he just said? He's telling you his true motivation.
I feel like I've been used.
Well, you have.
Actually, a few weeks after this was persisting on, he kept calling and calling, so I decided actually to call him myself and tell him exactly how I felt. I told him that I felt like I was being used. I felt like I was indebted to him and that I owed him something.
And I
And I
assured her
just
she
wanted
wasn't.
him to cash my check and cut all
And I
ties
told her I
with
wouldn't.
him. At this point, I did tell him all of this in person.
Oh, what's the big deal, I mean, why can't we just go out for a nice dinner and there's no strings
Because that's
attached?
not
I've
what I
made that
want.
clear to you.
Because that's not what I want.
Baldy, she's not your type. She doesn't like you. Can you not get that in there?
Even Michael gets it.
A few weeks later, I called the receptionist about my check once again. Linda, his receptionist, told me not to feel guilty about this because, in fact, he did this with all kinds of models and attractive women who came into the
That's
office.
none of your business.
It seems like this is a pattern for you, and that, in fact, that she herself, the receptionist...
She told you that.
The receptionist told me that she used to be a model. She used to
fired.
get dinners for free, dental work for free, and a job out of
I'll
you.
be back with my resolution. I think the writing's on the wall.
Yep.
I'll be back. Let me make sure I understand this correctly. So you ask out models and beautiful women just to make your receptionist jealous? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's time for my resolution. First of all, Denise, I don't need to tell you that nothing in life is free. With every free service, there are always strings attached. And I think deep down inside you knew that, which is why you wanted to pay. You knew that there was something funny about that. Doctor, you made it very evident that your motivation for the free services was that you wanted a pretty girl on your arm. And I'm not judging you on that, but understand, it would be nice to have a woman love you for you and what you bring to the table. You know, relationships that are built on an illusion or built on a total just lie are really not relationships. They're temporary situations. What I suggest you do, doctor, is find someone who loves you for you. You know, do a gentle cleaning, some really good flossing, and examine the fact that next time you take a bite out of a relationship, make sure it's real. And that's that, in black and white.
Well, there it is. What did we learn today? A bird in the hand is not worth two people's friendship. And for a beautiful smile, it's important to floss and brush daily, but it's not necessary to date your dentist. Join us next time here at Singles Court, the final word for singles.